Isn't it glorious? Is it glorious? I'm not sure. It's unique and interesting, and it feels like it could almost be a face if it wasn't for this bit right here. These are like big giant fluffy ears pointing out of the squid tower, and we've got honey and it's glowing because there are light sources hidden, and that's why we're flying around here at night. Looks so cool. So in my creative world, I tried many things. We even had like an antenna made out of iron bars at one point, but I settled on this because I wanted to have a little bit of blue to signify that this is the place to come to for squid farming. Blue being the water that the squids spawn in and all of that. And I do just want to take a moment to say thank you to everyone who's been tweeting images at me. I really do appreciate you sharing your creativity and inspiration. It really got me in the mindset to create what we've built up the top there. It's, not that that's a work of art or anything, but I've been given so many inspirational ideas for our base moving forward. It's going to be fantastic, I tell you. And Karalis has come by and dropped off all of the heads that he didn't submit in the head games. And we're actually going to put these to use now, I think, but that's just a project for later on in the season. And since I've had the time to AFK there on my own for plenty of time, let's go and see how we're doing with our drops. Success! Look at this! More ink sacs coming through, and I've got some ideas on how to optimize this farm and perhaps make it a little more efficient. Also, why are there bone blocks here? Well, the ice blocks just sort of disappeared on their own, one at a time. I got no idea how that happened. So using my camera account, we can take a look at our squid farm, and currently it's only spawning fishies, and we want it to spawn nothing but squid, really. It turns out there is a way that we can do this. We're going to use some make-believe water blocks. Here are my make-believe water blocks. This basically saves me from putting down a load of glass and then using water buckets. So this is currently like the spawning space of our farm just over here between each of the obsidian portals, right? There's loads of water going down like this. And squid, they only need a 2 by 2 by 2 area in which to spawn. And the fishies, they need 2 by 2 by 3. So if we are to slice out this section of water and then put something solid in between. So there we go, glass in between, probably going to dye it with light blue so it matches the colour of the water. And if we do this every 3 blocks, then we create these sections where only squid can spawn inside of. Well, what do you know, this works out really well. The glass spacing means that we can have our 2 sections going all the way to the very top and then put a roof on this thing as well. Now, I'm not sure if I mentioned it earlier, they share the same mob cap. So if fishies aren't spawning in here, it means there is way more chance for the squid to spawn, and that'll increase the rates of squid spawning, meaning that we get more ink sacs. Now, this game is full of little details and quirks that are very useful to know, especially if you want to make efficient farms, and I've been playing this game for a long time, and I just tend to forget some of these details because there's so many of them. So I want to extend a big thank you to Logical Geek Boy, who is a friend of the Hermitcraft community, a fellow YouTuber doing technical Minecraft, building farms and all of that. They actually made a very similar farm to this one right here and employed this technique, and so I want to thank Logical Geek Boy for reaching out and sharing this info with us, because it's going to make an even better ink farm. By the way, lapis is a beautiful building block. I think I want to use it more often this season. So this is what it now looks like, and unfortunately nothing's spawning inside of it because we have other players online. Also, I clearly missed a couple of blocks there. So it might be a while before standing up here in the AFK tower actually does anything, so I think I'm going to try and throw in a clip later on. You might be watching it right now, the farm in action, if I get an opportunity to AFK when no one else is online. And here are the two things in proximity to one another. Pretty cool, right? And yes, we will at some point in the future tidy this project up and make it look interesting. Because right now, I mean, yeah, this area actually looks terrible, doesn't it? Oh dear. So I'm fixing this little bit up right here, and I'm thinking, hey, some of you that want to know how to build this farm, you should check out Logical Geek Boy's video. It's a tutorial on pretty much the same sort of design as what we've got right here. So if you want to check that out, it'll be linked in the description box below. I have so many ink sacs now. This is wonderful, and we are actually selling them over here. Another 4 diamonds for the pile. I am rolling in it. Yeah, I know 4 isn't that much. I think False also has an ink farm as well, but she can't get us to run like when other people aren't on. So she's buying them from me, which is absolutely fine. Anyway, over here, the head games, as you can see, is kind of been wrapped up. Unfortunately, both me and Corrales couldn't make the final event, and neither of us won. But as participants, we get a free armor stand scene voucher, which is absolutely amazing. And I know what I want to use this for, but we'll keep that as something for the future for now. Now, this is impressive. There is a tally for every single day that the head games was played. Look at all these points that were earned. And this is me and Corrales right here. And so our final was 3,830. And the winners were Grian and Scar with a whopping 7,724. We were well and truly beaten, my friends. But hey, it has been a lot of fun. And it looks like this place will be repurposed to the Hermitcraft Herald. Look at that beautiful map. That is a work of art. The font there is gorgeous. The Hermitcraft Herald goes back to Season 2, by the way, and it was like a newspaper that got delivered to all of the hermits, and I think this is going to be something similar, and you can take out advertisements. Anyway, we're done in this area for now. I just checked up on the rock shop, and we've made another 19 diamonds, and are restocked as well. And for the next part of this episode, we are going to need these blocks to build a farm. And can you guess what that farm would be? What would need this block? Well, it doesn't actually need it specifically. I've also just thought, this is a really nice texture that would probably fit into our build palette here. So we are going to be building a witch farm. The primary reason for it is bottles. Can you believe it? Of all the things, I need lots and lots of bottles, and it is for our honey farm over here. This thing is forever breaking, although it has created a ton of honey right there. But if I wander over the top here, whenever you see redstone on this slot right here that's powered, which is pretty much every piece that I can see, it means that we're out of bottles and we need a lot more because all of these hoppers are empty and I don't want to mine all that sand and smelt it into glass. Oh my goodness me, this sound. It's so weird when you make so much of it placing down these blocks. So I got just over 4 stacks and we've refilled the honey block bank down here. I'm probably going to end up pinching some more blocks from this soon, but luckily we don't need any honey blocks to build the witch farm. So, a familiar sight once again, it's the overview of our base area, and there is actually a swamp north of us. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a witch hut, which would have just been perfect, but anyway, we've built a couple of portals going out to the left, one for the stronghold, we have our farming outpost, we have a flower farm, and so it made sense to continue going in this area. And as you can see, there is actually a witch hut right here. However, it has a little bit of a problem. It is very close to a river, which is something we're going to have to look out for. As you know, it's all about portals on the roof of the Nether, and we're about 600 blocks out here. This should put us very close to where the witch hut is, so let's jump through. It's actually put us in a cave. I was thinking, being up there on the roof, this is surely going to be on the surface. A little bit disappointing. I guess we're going to have to move this thing up. Well, I never thought it would be a good thing to be drowning, but it means we've found our way to the surface. Excellent. So where is that? Oh, there you go. There's that witch hut. We are right next to it. The black cat. This one actually spawns in with the witch hut, right? I don't know where the witch is, but you are a rarity. Ooh, I might try and tame you. In fact, I should probably try and capture you first before you run away. So remember how I said that the river here might have been a problem? Well, if the river goes inside of the witch hut, that area will not spawn witches. Luckily for us, I've been checking it out, and it's swamp all the way around the outside of the witch hut. It does come close, but it means that this one is good to go. So here it is, the free spawning platforms for our witch farm, and we are using these blocks because we need glazed terracotta just like we did last season. We are building the same farm over again. Since this isn't in my base or nearby it, I don't really feel like doing something fancy that ties into the theme of our base, and I just want to get the materials, so I don't want to make a big fuss about this. We're just going to build a straight up witch farm. So always double check when you're doing a big project. It turns out that I built this all one block too high, which would have meant the top floor wouldn't have spawned witches, so I'm very glad I took the time to do that. And now I have gathered all of the materials we need to build this inside of these shulker boxes and the contents of my ender chest as well. We are all ready to go and get this witch farm up and running. If you're having a flashback to Season 6, then you have every right to do so, because this is literally identical. A block-to-block recreation of what we did in that season. I don't think anything here has changed at all. I haven't set up the item filters or put on item frames on our chest. We need to put minecart hoppers underneath the collection area here, but I figured maybe a lot of you watching didn't actually see the farm last season, so let me give you a quick overview of how it works. So this is our AFK killing platform for the witches. The reason we're so high up in the sky is so that the only thing we're actually loading for mobs to spawn is the witch hut. Anywhere else around here, the mobs are not going to spawn. So that means we don't have to go underground and light up any of the caves. Mobs are simply not going to be spawning down here. But the one place they can spawn is inside of our farm. And we have flying machines here in order to sweep the witches off from one side to the other. This then sends them up the water elevator into a water stream and out the edge here. And the next bit isn't actually finished here because we need to fill this with water sources, because then the witches are going to send all the way up to the very top. There will be a water stream going across those slabs so that they get pushed across and then they will fall down onto the platform below. The witches will take full damage and the magma blocks will do the rest of the business. We can also switch it into looting mode where they land on bricks, they'll survive, and then either player will attack them with my sword to finish them off and get the looting effect. The drops are then collected below and sent through this sorting system so we can organise all of the drops, and anything extra will get disposed of at the edge here where there's supposed to be lava. And that's it. And as we've learned, we're missing some water streams to bring the witches all the way to the top. I'm missing a little bit of lava. And if you're wondering why I didn't show you me building all of this last part here with the redstone in the time lapse, well, it's because I logged in with my camera account, but I didn't have the replay mod on. Oh, such a derp. I wanted to include that, but anyway, I think that replay turned out absolutely fantastic. So I did all of those odds and sods, sorting out the lava, the minecart hoppers to pick up items, and of course installing the water stream. And we're going to have to wait for the next episode to see this thing in action, because it's starting to get busy on the server, and so we haven't got any witches spawning over here in this area. And that's fine. Oh no, wait, there goes one right there. And another one. Excellent, that is really good to see. And another one. Amazing. And they're able to just waltz out of here? What's going on? I've missed a glass pane. Oh dear. Right, I'm going to close that for now. So the only thing that isn't set up is the item filters, and of course I'm going to need to get my hands on all the different items that the witches drop. We've actually got a few of them straight away. The witches are actually spawning. And now they're taking damage, and now I'm wrecking them up. I think I just saw it drop. I've set up the item filters, and there was one item that I didn't have, and it should make its way into the correct spot. Yep, look at this. Witch's heads. Awesome. I need another one to put on the front of the chests, but that means everything here is set up, configured, and ready to go. Awesome. So I tried to do a little AFK farming, but no such luck really. Got a few witch kills. They were starting to come in right as I got back to the computer. So anyway, we're going to leave this project and hopefully do some proper farming by the time of the next episode. So here in the nether, we have a red carpet on the bedrock ceiling. And this is actually going to lead to some other colours of carpet. Here you go, we got like a rainbow highway leading towards my main portal. I am toying with this idea of colour coding my portals to different colours of carpet. That over there is the slime chunk, so it's got lime green. Red is the witch farm, pink is the flower farm, and yellow is our farming outpost. And they all sort of lead back over here in one way or another. I'm just experimenting with this at the moment. Eventually we'll figure out a proper layout for this. Now earlier in the video I put a bit of text on the screen saying that our squid farm wasn't quite working, and that's because I sort of winged the position of this over here, and I think I actually built it a fair bit lower than it should have been. And it means that squids are spawning over in this river. In fact, I'm probably putting a clip I captured with my camera account on earlier. So another job we got to do here just to get that squid farm all finished up is clear out some more of this river. So job done, and it looks like a complete wreck over here. And what's kind of funny is I'm probably not going to AFK up there next, right, to find out if this made the difference, as I want to use the witch farm. So that's where I'll be doing my AFK next. And right now, I just want to take the opportunity to announce that there is another Hermitcraft livestream weekend planned this weekend. Just said weekend twice. Yeah, you know the deals. Livestream.hermitcraft.com to get all the links to the Hermit streaming. So we're making an episode of Hermitcraft. You also at some point got to think about what the thumbnail's going to look like. And it's time to get to what you've probably seen in the thumbnail, which is our building that's going to go over here. And when I say I mean mine and Corrales. We are going into business together, selling concrete, and as soon as we get started, a competitor has popped up on the hill next door, and we're going to build something even fancier than a big old pile of concrete like that. And I'm going to show you the process in which this idea came about. But first of all, I'm actually going to rip down the podium here, as eventually what we want to do is have a road that leads into our concrete factory. And while we're in the area, we've made some sails. I know who brought these. It was Cubfan. He was looking for some fuel, and I said, hey, we got coal for sale over here at the rock shop. Now let's cast our mind back in time for a moment. This is what the commercial district once looked like when we first stepped foot on this world. And it is over here that, of course, we built the honey shop, and this space round to the side here that we're going to be building the concrete shop. And so on this creative world that I've quickly set up with World Edit, I kind of want to show you how I've come about the shapes we're going to use to make this shop. So the process is really quite simple here. We place down a block, we select this position, and then we're going to expand our selection in 3 directions. Now to begin with, these are going to be cubic shapes. So this is 11 by 11 by 11, and we use the walls command so that we get something hollow and that the top isn't filled in either. And this is like the very first part of the shape of our building. So now what I'm going to do is just come over here a little bit and pick a second point and do the same thing again. This time I've made it bigger in all directions, and now we have a secondary cube attached to this first one. So we have an additional shape, and now I'm going to add yet another one in. And we are basically going to continue this process as we start to fill up the landscape before us. And so as you'll see, the more and more of these shapes we bring together, we start to get like a really interesting shape forming. And this is something that's going to be loaded up with detail. We're just looking at the basic shape for now. So what you're seeing here has been thrown together rather quickly. When I did this the first time round, figuring out how I wanted the shape of this building to look, I put a lot more time and effort into it. So this included putting in the roofs with stone like you see here, and also then going below and removing all the additional lines or walls of concrete that weren't actually necessary, so we have a big hollow space underneath these interesting shapes to have our warehouse for the concrete factory. So here on the actual Hermitcraft server, it's time to start building, and what you'll notice is that I've actually put the outline of all of these different shapes down on the mycelium, and to begin with, this looks pretty unimpressive, doesn't it? So we're getting going here. I've built the very first 3 boxes, and it looks okay. I've left the scaffolding in though, and that's actually kind of ruining the view, but what I want to do is get a feel for what the final product looks like compared to where all the scaffolding is, so I'm actually going to leave it in there to the very last step. And will we even get there, because this is taking a lot of time and using a lot of concrete. So there you go, like that's the first, is that 6? No, 7. Added in a few more boxes. I think this one is going to be the second highest. It's getting absolutely mad. Oh, we are actually getting through this. It's taken its time, but we're on our way there. I feel like a man possessed at the moment because I am absolutely tearing through concrete. And although I've only done a couple more boxes, these ones are massive. Look, they go all the way down here. Oh, what a stupid amount of concrete. Well, we've got boxes coming over into this area to do now. So, in an attempt to amuse myself whilst building this, I thought I would focus on all of the shapes that connect to the outside of this last bit. That actually leaves us with just one cube left right here in the middle. And it was a big one, but it is the last one, and now it's all finished. Thank goodness. Look at this. It's glorious. It's also covered in scaffolding that will have to go. And yeah, you might have guessed it, this thing is a long way away from being finished, but I reckon that I've put about probably 2.5 shulker boxes, maybe 3 shulker boxes worth of concrete into this, which is just bonkers. But hey, we want to have a bonkers shop, right? And in the next episode, we'll be taking down the scaffolding, having a look at what it looks like inside of there and starting to work on this thing. That's going to be it from me. This one, I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like. As always, thank you for your support, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.